Hi, I'm Kevin Creighton with AmmoMan.com, and today on the School of Guns, we're going to be talking about how to sight in your rifle. Now, in the article below, I mentioned how it's important to verify your zero every once in a while, and especially when something changes, whether you used a new type of ammo or put on a new optic, or in this case, I've put a suppressor on the end of this gun. This is the Savage B22 bolt action that I used for the match ammo test. It's been customized by Savage Gunsmithing, and they did a great job. But my suppressor has come in, and now I'd like to see how this gun shoots with that. And I'm expecting there might be some sort of shift, some change in my point of impact because I've got a different amount of weight on the front of the barrel. So what I'm going to do is sight this, see where I am on paper. The ammo I'm going to be using is the Federal Auto Match. This turned in a really good result in our 22 match ammo. And I'm going to shoot a 3-shot group. Let me just see where I am, and we'll start from there. All right, let's see how we did. Now, as I suspected, there was a slight shift in the point of impact on this gun once I put the suppressor on it. It looks like I moved about a ½ inch up and about a ½ inch to the right, and that should be easy to adjust for. Now, my target is 50 yards away because that's the distance that I like to sight this rifle in, and I know that I'm using 1-inch grid lines on my target. And this brings up an important point. You should always use a target when you're doing something like this that has a known unit of measurement on it. You can't just sit there and guess, well, I think those rings are 6 inches across. No, that's not how you do this. You need to be precise, you need to be verifiable, you need to be accurate, you need to measure things. I'm just using a very common, very standard 1-inch grid target. You can find it all over the place. I love them. And I know at 50 yards, I'm going to have to double my measurement. And I know that my scope here has 1/4 MOA adjustments. So at 100 yards, to move it a ½ inch, I would move it, what? Bueller, Bueller, Bueller. That's right, 2 clicks. However, I'm at 50 yards, so I'm going to have to double those clicks. So I want to move it to the left, which is away from me on this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. I want to move it down, which is counterclockwise. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, let's see how we do. All right, let's go take a look at the target. Okay, so good news and bad news. The good news is my elevation is dead on. The bad news is I've still got to work on my windage, left and right a little bit. It looks like I'm now a full square off to the right, and I want to move my bullets to the left. So my rifle scope here is marked with a right in this direction. I want to go in the opposite direction. I want to move my rounds left. So I know I have to, at 100 yards, I would move it 4 clicks, but in this case, I'm at 50 yards, so I want to go a full 8 clicks. That way he's right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, one more time. We should be on target now. All right, let's see how we did. So it looks like we're right where we want to be. I might move it up a click or two, but we're pretty much right where I want to be. So the process of this, once again, has a bunch of steps in it. The first is, of course, make sure you know your distance. In this case, I know it's 50 yards that I'm sighting this in at. Secondly, make sure that you know what your optics adjust at. If you don't know whether each click of this is 1/4 MOA or 1/2 MOA, or if it's in a mil-dot scope, find the instruction manual, learn it, read it, because you're going to need to know it. Thirdly, make sure you're shooting at a target where you have known measurements on. In this case, I know every one of those squares is an inch across. I know exactly how to move it. I can do the math in my head pretty quickly. It's not all that hard. Then make sure you have a stable firing position. In this case, I'm just using a card table, a folding chair, and a bag of sand. You can do this from prone, but I wouldn't do it from, a standing position. You want to be able to have repeatable hits time after time, and you want to be able to shoot a nice tight group. Which brings me to my last point, the trigger finger. Honestly, that's a big deal here. If you're not good enough with your rifle, you can't turn in a consistent 3-shot group time after time after time after time. Go to an Appleseed project, get some time on a 22. Learn how to control your breathing, how to get a good shooting stance set up, and learn how to shoot a tight group, because at the end of the day, it's going to come down to your marksmanship ability more than it comes down to what your rifle can do. So anyways, that's how to sight on your rifle. As always, we hope you stay safe, have fun, and we'll see you on the range.